Hello and welcome to Art 13131 once again. And we are past the halfway mark as we only have 11 weeks and we're in week 6. So we're right there, halfway mark. So I would assess how many assignments you've completed and sent to me. And if I've asked you to work on them more, then this is a good time to get the first half completed and sent to me, or at least addressed, because I may ask that you work on a particular drawing more for a better grade, and you won't be able to do that. You want the time to do it. So let's clean up all what's back here up to week 6 and get it to me. And thank you for all the great midterm presentations. Several of you participated in, some did not, and it's too late now for those people. But for the ones that did, I really enjoyed those presentations, and a lot of them were just excellent, and at least most of them were adequate anyway. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you for your effort. Let's talk about assignment number 10, which is full face portrait. We already did a profile, which is the side view, and now we're going for full face. So that maybe seem a little easier, I don't know, for some. Uh, and you can let me know how you feel about that, if it's easier or not, but it may be. Let's talk about what that might mean. We'll talk about the assignment 11 and the homework either tomorrow or Thursday. I will post those. But today, let's talk about full face portrait. I'm going to show you a picture of one that I think is pretty strong, because most of the skin, if not all the skin except for the highly reflective areas, have a tone to them. Because skin has a tone. Skin is not white as paper. I mean, check it out. I don't think anyone can show me that their skin is white as paper, so nobody really, if unless it's white as paper, then you do have a tone in it, in your skin, even a slight tone. That means you're going to be putting graphite shading tones throughout the face, except for, like in this particular example, where the highlighted areas are, like the nose, the bridge of the nose, and the brow. Around, this is a little less here, but these are probably the brightest areas that are catching light and sort of reflecting it off, shining, like the skin is shiny there. So you're going to represent that by leaving the least tone, possibly light white. But the rest of the face is levels, probably 5 to 7 different levels of different tones that show the shape of the face. So, a little lighter in here, then it starts gradually getting a little darker, coming in around the nose and the brow here, a little darker and a little less dark right here, but on the side of the face, darker. All right, depending on your light source. Now, you're taking either a picture of yourself. I'm sorry, it's really windy here, and I have like a bunch of wind chimes around where we are, and and they're just, it's very musical. Maybe it's a little different, a little break from the jazz stuff I play. This is kind of cool. But if you can't hear me, I'll have to do this over. Anyway, you will notice that the light and darks go all the way around the face that show the shape. So darker areas are where light isn't hitting as well. And then where light hits a lot and extremely, then it's very bright. That means there's less graphite, right? And the more graphite is used where the light is not hitting as much. Same with the lips. The lips aren't one tone. They're several tones, because there's lit up parts where the light is hitting on the rounded part of rounded edges as the lips go around and in. And down here it's darker, and on the bottom maybe darker, a little darker on the top, but not much. But there's the lighter areas. So this is a good example to go for when you're looking at what you're going to use as a model. It might be your own face. You're going to take a photo of your own face. I would suggest using light that isn't straight on, but one light source that's maybe coming from the left or the right side slightly, so that you do have a difference in tone qualities on the face. That's going to show more shape when you start putting the graphite down. Now you can use charcoal too, charcoal pencils, but you're going to need the kneaded eraser for that. A little different than the vinyl eraser. But if you want to try charcoal, it really renders dark tones and light tones very quickly. And then you can smudge with your finger and a smudging tool, or take the eraser and smudge out tone, and get to know your eraser. Also, the eyes again have the reflection mark on them, possibly over the pupil and part of the iris. Iris has tones to it because it's got color, some sort of color, maybe very dark but very light, but you're going to see what that is when you take a picture of yourself or someone else, or maybe you want to use this as an example and use this, which is okay to do. Don't make it up. Don't use imagination on your face unless you are really, 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 really good at portrait drawing. Then maybe you would be successful with that. But usually you're going to need to be looking at something to see all the lights and darks, to see the shape, see the proportions, and work from that. Also, I would say that this is, I'm going to show you, I'll try to find a template. Typically the eyes are in the middle of the head or slightly above the middle. They're not way up here, and certainly the top of the head isn't cropped down like this. Some students do that. They crop the head like that, and they make the eyes really big and up way high in the forehead, and they're not. I mean, really look at that. I mean, take your pencil or a ruler and measure how far it is from the eye, the middle of the eye, to the top of the head, compared to the eye to the bottom of the chin. And I would say that the eyes are either in the middle or slightly above the middle. Of course, the nose is right in the middle. You might want to make a gesture drawing of sort of an egg shape head, because the top here is rounded and bigger than when you start getting into the jaw and the cheeks and the chin. It tapers down to sort of not a point, but a rounded pointed area, kind of like an egg shape. So you want to maybe map that out. Now I'm going to provide a video for you to watch on this. I think there may be two of them, part one and part two, and you check those out. But typically, so now you have the nose coming down maybe into the other third of the face. You got this is kind of like half of it. Maybe this is a quarter to a third, and then the mouth is in between the nose and the chin. Okay, and also ears, like we did in the profile, top of the ears is about where the top of the eye is, see? And the bottom of the ear is about where the nose starts. They're right in the middle where the nostrils are. So you don't want to make your ears way up here or way down here. You want to make them in conjunction with this sort of a template I'm panning out here. So let's look at others, and maybe I can find a template, but you want to shade with a lot of contrast. The ones here that are very strong and have a lot of shape have contrast to them, okay? They have a lot of contrast in lights and darks. There's very dark areas, very light areas, and everything in between. This is more of a 3/4 view, so don't do it. And it's also kind of cartoonish, so watch that. I don't want an anime face. I don't want big eyes. I want realism, because then you can branch out and do your anime stuff and cartoon stuff after that, when you've already now touched with the basics of realism. Okay, this is a pretty strong one here. Yes, you can have a funny face if you want, but let's not go too much of a departure. And here's a good idea here for a template. It's not bad, but the video I show you will show you even a better template than what I'm saying here. So this is about in the middle where the eyes are, and then the nose is like another fourth, and then on the last the other fourth here, the mouth is closer to the nose than the chin, but somewhere in the middle there. Okay, and then here's you got your shading, right? So you want to try to map this out. Kind of an egg shape within reason. It's not really tapered here. There's some jowls, but it's more the egg shape than a round circle, and certainly not a complete oval. All right, and they'll discuss that in the video as well. So take a look at that video. Look at these examples. Pause and look at these. Go into Bing yourself. Go into Google yourself, and find full face portraits. Drawings. You want drawings. Don't forget the drawing part. And go for it. Now, there's different ways to shade, of course. There's more of a pen and ink style, where they're not shading with smooth. The thing about this kind of drawing is it makes a texture where it looks like there's deep lines in the guy's face when there may not be. That's why something like this is smooth. So you're going to use your graphite, a smudging tool. Maybe you make a smudging tool with Q-tips or a rag over your baby finger, and you're kind of using that to smudge in and smooth out your graphite if it's not smooth already. But you can make it very smooth by using the side of your pencil and different pressure to make the darker and the lighter areas. But a lot of this is just noticing what you're looking at. I mean, you have to start and really noticing where those lights and darks are, where the proportions are. Map that out with what I showed you with the template a minute ago, and go by the video. Watch the video. So the video is going to have a lot of information there for you. I've talked about several things here. You want to send me something preliminary that I can comment on before you finish it? Go ahead and do that. And also eyes, the white of the eyes have different tones in them. It's not all completely white as paper. There's different tones in the eye, the white area in the eye and the iris. And you got that reflection mark. That makes the eye look round in the head. It's not going to look flat. It's not a cartoon face, okay? All right, so let's leave it at that. Watch the video. Any questions, let me know, and let's get started with that. Another video will be coming for number, 11, and homework. Yeah, 11 and homework. This is a fun one. Whoops. Okay, so start sending me all that prior work if you haven't done so. I mean, you really want to start getting caught up now because we're on the halfway mark heading into the end of the semester. All right, thanks.